Hey, and a really warm welcome to this podcast. David Marshall here from the ConsciousCreationAcademy.com. And today we're talking about business, beliefs about business, beliefs about how you can make money. And based on my own 25-year experience of working for myself, working with other people and helping them grow their business, then I hope you find it useful. Now, what we're going to do is go through some pitfalls. At the end, we're going to really explore what you can do next. And there's one major pitfall that I find a lot of, say, self-aware people who are coming into healing and coaching and training, that type of thing, with a kind of spiritual mindset fall into. Not everybody, but just some, and it's going to be really important that you listen to that part at the end. It's one of the things that gets in the way of almost every single thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through step by step now how to create a conscious business, so a business that essentially helps people, that educates people, and how to create that consciously so that you yourself end up with the income, with the lifestyle, with the value fulfillment, so you feel as though you're contributing into this world in the way that you want. And then how do we kind of tie all that together? Because it's a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle. We've got ideas about money, ideas about marketing, ideas about, we've got social media, we've got the ability or the inability to focus on things. All these types of things are driven from our beliefs. So we are not going to get into marketing strategy. If you are interested in creating a business, either you have one or you're thinking of creating one, please do go to soultosoulbusiness.com, and you can join there for £7 a month. And we'll be talking about all these types of things. It's a brand new venture to really bring together all the ideas, and that includes in there all ideas around marketing, how you can get set up online in this digital age, as well as all these ideas about manifesting, mindset, marketing, etc., etc. But this is a general view here of looking at your beliefs and the pitfalls. So let's get into it. So within actually creating the business that you want, then there are so many layers to think about, particularly if you've entered it in a way that you feel as though you want to help people. You will have beliefs about wanting to help people. You will have beliefs about money. You will have beliefs about what a business is and whether you're a business person, or how you feel about digital marketing or marketing general and selling. All these things come to play, and they also kind of revolve around this idea of what you think is right and wrong in the world, capitalism, what you think your worth is, and whether you're actually capable or want to actually build that business. So all of these come at play, and these are all things that we're going to explore now. So people really don't know to the extent that their beliefs, desires, and expectations affect their reality. I'm going to tell you that it's 100%. So that this is a state of consciousness. If you listen to any of my trainings, this is a state of consciousness like a dream. And if you were in a dream and every thought you had, your strongest desires, your strongest thoughts, your strongest feelings actually materialized in your business and in your life, then that's really the closest you can get to think about it. Everything is thought, everything is consciousness, energy. And so what I want to do is encourage you to just completely embrace all parts of your business. There's not one area that is not created by you within your life. Now, I was going to say there's not one area that's affected. Now, that implies that there's something that you affect. Okay, there's something out there that exists separate to you that your beliefs then kind of affect, if you like. And that's not true. So I'm glad I brought myself up on that. Think about it in the way that your business actually comes through you. Okay, it's created by you. The thought that you want to help people, the thought that you want to maybe have the freedom. Certainly for myself, I'm able to work anywhere. I work from home. Money comes into my bank account while I'm sleeping. I work with kind of amazing people. And so, that really is a dream business. And of course, that's really what I wanted to create. And so you can create it, but only when you take responsibility for the whole thing. Okay, and that's really key. And that will come into play when we talk about if you're in business, what do you need to do on social media? How do your beliefs about the world affect your use of social media? Because quite frankly, I would be happy never to go on social media ever again. Even though I run a marketing company, I do training in marketing. I do that because I know the results that it can bring, but I also do it very consciously in mind of, what platforms I go on, how many times I think I have to post. And bear in mind that the information that we're receiving from the mass reality, if you like, is all based upon their beliefs. So if somebody tells you you've got to do this in your business, that's based on their beliefs. But of course, maybe they don't know that their beliefs are creating the experience, and you're kind of tuning into that. I would encourage you to have absolutely firm beliefs about what it is that you want in your business, what you believe will work in your business. And by doing that, then of course you are affirming that within this reality. You're affirming that within this state of consciousness. And this state of consciousness, as in all states of consciousness, can only do one thing. It can only reflect that back to you. So if your beliefs are, I've got to be everywhere and I've got to do everything and I've got to do this and I've got to do that, well, then you do. That's the only way that you're going to win, if you like. But also tempered underneath that, you may have limiting beliefs and ideas around worth, around money, about capitalism, all that kind of stuff. So what I want you to do, first of all, is recognize that your beliefs are absolute. What you offer into the world and the way that you do it in terms of a business, and you might want to explore what you think a business is, what you believe a business is, or a business person, what's that identity for you, then recognize that within this reality, it is mostly ego driven. Okay, people are very interested in money because, of course, although we knew it already before we even gave birth to ourselves here, fundamentally that everybody has to create money here and create income. We knew that before we arrived. We knew that coming into here. And so your beliefs about money, if they are in any way tainted, that says money's not natural, money is kind of not spiritual, all that kind of stuff, that's a problem for you. That's a big problem. So let me just remind you, you knew what you were getting into before you arrived here. And so, don't label anything as unnatural or as if it's a shock that you didn't know it. You knew it. You absolutely knew that you were giving birth to yourself, focusing your attention into a reality where money exists. And then on top of that, of course, knowing that, we can neutralize maybe ideas about money, how it has to be, how we have to create it, what's good, bad, and ugly about it. All these things. You knew about it. It is really neutral. It's completely neutral. Money exists simply, quite literally, as an idea in your head. Okay, that's how it exists. Now, knowing that, we can then go, okay, well, what do I want to offer them? What do I want to offer into the world? And what I would say is that here, being a reality where that people focus on things that are essential to them mostly. So if we think of a kind of, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, people need to make money. They need to survive first. They need to have a house over their head. They need some money in their pocket so that they can feed themselves. The next one up, they start thinking about themselves in terms of their identity and other people are, all that kind of stuff. So we need to make sure that we understand that there are specific needs here that we have, that we knew before we actually arrived here. And so actually offering something that nobody needs or very few people need is actually going to cause some challenges. Okay, so bear in mind that the most important things to people are around health. There's only a few areas. There's health, there's looking good, there's aging, there's all these types of things that exist within there. And so offering out something in line with those based on your values is really the best way to go. Could I sell buttons to somebody who doesn't need buttons? No, I couldn't. Can I create a business and sell information that helps people create a much better life for themselves? Yes, absolutely, I can. So don't fall into the trap of thinking because things are spiritual, in inverted commas, that's what you must do, that somehow people have to buy it. I have come across a few business owners in my time where I help them with their marketing and understanding their offer and say, look, this is spiritual. It's going to work because I'm me, because I've had a spiritual awakening, and therefore this is what's going to happen and this is what's going to work. And actually it doesn't, because that's a very limited idea. we have to accept life's on life's terms. Okay. And here life is, we have a body and we can help people increase the health of that body. We have to earn an income, and we can help people earn an income in a way that enhances their world and their reality. We have these particular areas for a reason. So think about, if you're in a business or if you're thinking about starting a business, what can you offer that's of obvious value? Okay, that you go, yeah, I would need that. I would need that. That kind of makes sense. So what I'm saying is, don't go too obscure. Don't go out there too far. That's a mistake. I've made that mistake. So just think about the fact that people have these needs based on the environment that we're in. How can you help those needs? So here's some key ideas: that you must have beliefs around what you offer has enough worth to give you the money and the lifestyle that you want. Okay, so you must have a belief that says, hey, here, this has enough value, obvious value, that will allow you, the business owner, the coach, the trainer, the healer, whatever you are doing, to give you the lifestyle and the income that you want. Okay, so actually a lot of the traps that people fall into is they don't think about that, particularly the lifestyle bit. So a lot of coaches and trainers and healers and practitioners, that type of thing, they start to work hourly, and they don't feel as though they can charge enough, so they charge some crazy low rate. And when I was doing Reiki 20 or healing 27 years ago, something like that, actually nearly 30 years ago, I was charging £100 an hour. Why was I charging £100 an hour? And I would only do 3 or 4 sessions, because I learned pretty quickly that actually I needed a certain level of income, and that actually I found that by offering packages, I was able to guarantee somebody the success that they wanted. They came with a bad back, 3 or 4 sessions, I was guaranteed that they would have a massive improvement, if not a complete cure, after the end of those sessions. And therefore I was able to charge more. Okay, I was offering value, obvious value, and that allowed me to actually have less clients and work more money, which fed into the lifestyle, of myself. I think I had 1 child at the time, had 3 now. The oldest is nearly, 27. Well, it is 27 now. So a long time ago. So just think about the kind of common sense stuff. We have common sense for a reason. We have an intellect for a reason, and we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. If your mortgage, if your rent is £1,000, $1,000, whatever it would be, just think about how many clients do I need in order to pay that? Maths is real. It is real here, and actually we ignore it at our peril. So just think about that. Think about, what's the lifestyle that you want? How much do you want to work? Because remember, your intention sets the goal. It sets the journey on. And if you say, well, I'm not sure how much I want to earn, I'm not really worth anything, I'm not very good at this, people won't pay me. Imagine, what reality is doing. It's just going, oh, what on earth should we do with this person? This confusion. And the only thing it can do is feedback the confusion. All right, hope that makes sense. So the key pitfall is really think about your limiting beliefs about money. Do you think that money is good? Do you think that money is evil? Do you think that it's the root of all evil? Isn't that a phrase that people make? So bear in mind that their just beliefs are not true about them. We all have beliefs about money. And when you're doing that, think about starting with the end in mind. How much money do you want to have monthly or yearly? How much do you want to have it in your bank account? That type of thing. And then just think about, well, what beliefs could get in the way of that? Well, how could I be stopping that? Because let me just tell you, if you look out of any window at all, then, when you're listening to this or you're driving along, reality is abundant. There's an abundance of air, abundance of sunshine. It's by nature. There's abundance of trees and plants and animals and insects and breath and bodies and people. Reality is by nature abundant. And actually, when we think about money as part of that abundance and we stop it, then that causes problems. So think about your beliefs about money, whether you think it's good, whether you think it's bad, all that kind of stuff. And your ability, not only that, to keep or manage money. That's a key one a lot of people struggle with. They say, I'm good at making it, but I'm terrible at keeping it. Or I'm good at making it, but I'm terrible at business decisions. These are all beliefs, friends. These are all beliefs. And so we've got to go through this process of exploring them and kind of going, hey, I didn't realize I thought that. That's mental, and actually then changing that around. So another one that people struggle with in my experiences, and myself also, of course, is limiting beliefs around self-worth. And the key's in the worth word. How much am I worth? And how much is what I'm offering worth? So we might intellectually go, it's worth, how much is it worth to help somebody solve this problem in their life? Well, it's kind of limitless, particularly if it's around health. There's no money that could actually be put on the price of health, is there? But we have to do that. We have to recognize that even though we're offering something that has ultimate worth, we have to then kind of bring it down to a level where we're able to say, this is how much this costs. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle. In fact, I know that's where a lot of people struggle. They say, I want this, but I'm not worth £100 an hour. I'm not worth 20,000 a year. I'm not worth 10,000 a month, whatever it would be. So our limiting self-beliefs about self-worth actually really do play a part. A lot of people think that they're broken. I've been through that. I'm broken. I'm not worth anything to this world. I certainly know when I can remember having depression, really bad kind of depression, and I didn't think that, I thought the world would be better off without me because I wasn't offering any worth to the world. And that's really, really important. Now, the next limiting belief is the one that a lot of people have when they say, look, I really want to earn this money, but actually they kind of mind read people's bank balances by saying, I don't think the world can pay. So I work with many people every day and they say, well, yeah, I'd really like to charge, say, £5,000 for my program that I want to offer, but nobody can afford that. Now, that, of course, is a limiting belief. It could be 5,000, it could be 10,000, it could be £20. Makes no difference. Our beliefs about other people's willingness and ability to pay us is really, really important. So don't mind read people. Literally just put the offer out. Do it in this process of looking at your beliefs about money, looking at beliefs about what you offer, looking at the lifestyle that you want, and know that people are able and willing and want to pay you. So here's another one, which is that I have kind of touched on it, that I do work with a lot of spiritual people, people in self-awareness and coaching and healers, that type of thing. And often, not always, but often there is a limiting belief that just because it's spiritual, because I'm spiritual, somehow the world should open up for me, that the world should definitely go my way and that everybody should be giving me this money. It's kind of the flip side of a lack of self-worth that's more driven into kind of ego. When self-awareness drops into the ego that says, I'm really important, therefore people should buy from me. I have come across that, so just be careful of that because it's not true. Everybody's equal, and often that's something that trips people up. Okay, so know that we still have to know our worth. We still have to help people, and expecting people to do things, to buy things just because it's us, is a pitfall and doesn't work, frankly. Okay, so now let's touch on one that is a little bit more around kind of the marketing side of things, which is around social media and marketing itself. So people don't realize that their beliefs about marketing and social media and kind of what they have to do play a part. And I would say to you that everyone has to have a system. Okay, we work with systems here. We do have the internet. The internet is real. And so we have to have basic systems. We have to be able to deliver emails to people, particularly if you want the lifestyle where you're being paid kind of automatically, or you're being paid for very, very little actual work, because you have systems. So you have to have, and this is what you cover in Soul to Soul Business, you have to have systems. And when you have those systems, then you're able to kind of stand back and let the system do the work, whilst recognizing that if you believe that you have to be on social media 24/7, then you do, in order for it to work. If you think you have to be on every platform and that's the only way your business can ever work, because that's what the marketing gurus told you, then you do. I would get you to think about, what is it that you want to do? For me personally, I want to do as little as possible so that I can focus on giving value by doing podcasts or going for walks or reading my books or writing my other book, whatever it would be. That's what I really want to do. And I use my beliefs to leverage that my beliefs about social media to leverage that. Okay. And so go to your strengths, think about, okay, if I don't actually, because this is a dream state of consciousness, if I don't have to be on every platform, if that's not a rule, what am I good at? What would I enjoy doing? And head towards those. I enjoy speaking into a microphone, coming up with ideas, and that's why podcasting that automatically gets put onto YouTube. I'm able to share my book on automation. People buy my products on automation. So I have a system, but I recognize my beliefs about the system are what's at play here. But we do have to have system, but it's not like you have to follow every single guru going. Now, a final one that some people fall into just before we get to look at actually the process you can take as you go through. And I realize this podcast's getting quite long, but it's a big subject, isn't it? So a lot of people I see, and this is inadvertent, it's totally unconscious, will look out into the world and think that they have to save it. Now, this is one that hits the ego. I used to have this, and I call it save the world syndrome. So a lot of people will look out into reality without the full awareness that they create, that there's a personal reality they create, and then there's a mass reality that we often see through the internet, and we see kind of things going on in other parts of other lands within this reality, if you like. And they think that somehow they have to save the world syndrome. And often a spiritual or a self-awareness awakening or a psychic awakening can kind of do that. They go, oh, right, I've woken up because I've got to save the world. And you don't. Nobody ever told you that you do. And this is where I'm speaking, there's somebody spoke to me, which is somebody said, hey, Dave, you've got save the world syndrome. You think you've got to, that it's on your shoulders. It's a big responsibility. I'm the one that has to save the world. I'm part of this huge movement and I'm the one that I'm part of it. It's my responsibility to change the world. Well, it actually isn't. Okay, your only responsibility is to know yourself, and through knowing yourself, the world changes automatically. So if you have a sense, and this can be, I recognize it can be quite a challenging thing to accept. If you have save the world syndrome and you're listening to this and you have an overwhelming sense of responsibility that you've got to get your message out because the world needs it, it's going to crash unless we do this type of thing. That's save the world syndrome. It's exhausting. I would encourage you to review that because it's based in misunderstanding and also a little bit of ego. And it was my ego that hurt when somebody said to me, hey, nobody said it was, they said, Dave, nobody said it was your job to police the world. And that really hit home for me. I thought, no, actually, they said, well, who nominated you? And it's true. I was self-nominated policeman to the world to judge it all going to shit, to judge it all bad, to think there's conspiracy theories everywhere, all that kind of, and that I had to kind of, solve that. That's what I was here for. That's actually not true. Okay, there is a nuance of truth to it, which is you're here to express yourself to be the best version of you can. But if that falls into save the world syndrome and being the policeman of the world and judging everybody for not being spiritual or whatever it would be, then that's going to hold you back. It's 100% going to hold you back. So that's something to have a think about that you may or may not resonate with you. So what can you do? Let's get into the kind of, as we head to the end of this, what is it that you can do? Well, think about if you were to recognize and fully accept that this is a state of consciousness based on your beliefs and that it's like a dream. My book, The Dream We Call Earth, it's like a dream. And so if you knew that and fully accepted it, what you could then do is create a belief system that would then fulfill what you want. The first thing you have to do is know what you want. What is it? What is the lifestyle that you want? Often we think it's about income, but actually it's about lifestyle often. What is the lifestyle that you want and what income do you want in order to fulfill that lifestyle? So you start with the end in mind, think about the lifestyle that you want and then you then go back and go, okay, well, what beliefs would I need to have if reality then reflected them back to me that would bring me that result? What beliefs would I have to have? So you're starting with the end in mind. Then you look at all your beliefs, your desires and your expectations about the world and about yourself and about money and about business. And you will start to see some discrepancies. You'll go, well, actually, it's no wonder I'm not earning the money because I really don't believe this can work or that I'm worthy of this or that the world, that the world is kind of not valuing me or whatever. We're so unaware of our thoughts generally And until we explore them, we simply don't know. So the first thing you're going to do is create a lifestyle picture. If you want, you could use a vision board, but I would say you need to go deeper than that. How much money do you want to make? What is it that your day looks like in general terms? And by doing that, you set the intention and reality begins to get into action. Then recognize that you're going to need to look at your beliefs, your desires and expectations about that. And the key is that it's not going to go the way that at ego level we think. There's not a particular order that these have to happen in order to create that. So you need to then think about, once you've created those and you've changed some beliefs, and if you don't know how to do the belief change work, there's a link in the description below that will help you out. Special as a hypnotherapist and NLP practitioner and all that stuff. I've created a program with beliefs around money in particular, and it's on offer for podcast people like your good self, because you need to do this. It's absolutely essential. Only if you struggle with it. If you don't, absolutely cool. So you're going to need to look at your beliefs, desires, and expectations. Then you need to begin to change your beliefs, change your feelings and that type of thing. And once you do that, then you need to trust. You need to take a step back, and that's where expectation comes in. Recognize that what's going to then happen is reality is going to go into action. It's going to begin to bring things to you, feelings to you that may not be obvious immediately within physical reality. We don't see the whole of events. Imagine that there's an event being created in what we'll call framework 2, when you're in the inner reality, physical reality being framework 1. In framework 2, in the quantum field, whatever you want to call it, makes no difference, that these events are being created. Now, the trick is we can't actually see them. But what we can do is allow reality to do its work and begin to notice how we feel. Begin to notice small events that will become first. It's like we see the tip of the iceberg first. Somebody will say something. You'll find some money on the floor. You'll get an idea about, hey, I could do this and I could do that, and learn to follow those. And as you do, then reality you're kind of being a co-creator within the invisible events that are going to bring you the lifestyle that you want. Think of it as fun. Think of it as a game. Think of it as interesting. And so once you're doing that, then it's just a matter of time. Then as time plays itself out, just allow it to happen, follow that, and then that is the journey. That is the process that we all have to follow that process. And remember that you create your own reality, including your business, your view of marketing and money and all those types of things, but that you never see the whole of reality. What we view here through the 5 senses is one tiny little slice. If you think of, say, an orange, it looks like a whole thing, doesn't it, from the outside? But if you were to peel the orange away, you would see there are different segments that make up that whole event that we call an orange. Now, there are different segments, hidden events, psychic, energetic, emotional events that have to happen in order to bring you what it is that you want, that you created in your kind of desires when you created that great lifestyle that you want. And knowing that, don't jump in too quick. Don't go, oh, it's not working. Don't do that. Work in your dreams. Go into sleep and go, right, I really want to understand how to do that. Put a pen and paper by the bed so you can take notes of that. Think of it as this whole creative flow. But within that, you will have to learn how to change your beliefs and desires and expectations. So here's a core belief to help you that might work. It says the perfect client. So imagine this was your core belief right now, that the perfect clients and income are always and easily attracted to myself and my business. I have the income and business that I love and enjoy. The perfect clients and income are always and easily attracted to my business. I have the income and business that I love and enjoy. Now, if that's not an affirmation, we're not just kind of hoping and praying. What we need to do is think about that as a core belief about your business. And so you can use that kind of, for 5 minutes a day when you're walking around. The perfect clients and income are always and easily attracted to my business. I've got the income and the business that I love and enjoy. And by saying that, you're attracting psychically those clients. So this was a bit of a long, this is almost 30 minutes now. Crazy, but it's a big subject, isn't it? So I hope that you enjoyed that. If you do struggle with changing your beliefs, particularly around money, then do go to the link below. Go and get that training, because it's the only way to do it. So many people are in business, or they think of starting a business, and it never quite works out. That's because they've got limiting beliefs. It's all about them. And knowing that means that you're able to then take control of yourself, to take responsibility, and only then will things change. And I've seen it 1,000 times, 5,000 times within my own and other people's lives, and I guarantee that is the way to make the changes. You do need marketing. You need to understand business as well. You need to understand marketing at an intellectual level, but you also need to pair it and bring it together with a recognition that you yourself are an immortal, multi-dimensional creature that creates your own reality. And that includes your business, your money, and your lifestyle. That's it, guys. Do check the link below if you struggle with changing your beliefs. And wherever you are, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you find that useful. Lots of love.